Okay, so you've definitely heard of a 401k, right? But what if you work in public service? Well, your retirement plan might be a little different. Today, we're going to demystify its lesser-known sibling, the 403b. Let's figure out what this is all about.
So, let's start with a quick show of hands. Do you work in the world of education? Maybe you're a teacher, an administrator, or part of the incredible staff that makes a school run.
Or, what about healthcare? Are you spending your days in a hospital or a clinic as a doctor, a nurse, or a medical professional?
And what if you're in the nonprofit world, maybe working at a university, a foundation, or even your local library?
If you found yourself nodding along to any of those, then chances are your retirement plan isn't the one you always hear about. It's probably this other thing, governed by a very specific and, let's be honest, often misunderstood part of the tax code.
The easiest way to think about it, it's basically the 401k for the public service and nonprofit sector. But here's the crucial part. A 403b isn't an investment itself. Nope, it's more like a container, a special kind of account that holds all of your retirement investments. And that's really all it is. It's just a retirement plan named after the section of the tax code that created it. It was specifically designed to give people in these really important service-oriented jobs a great way to save for their future.
So who exactly gets one of these? Well, we're talking about a huge range of people, from teachers and university professors to hospital staff and librarians. Pretty much, if your employer is a tax-exempt organization, a 403b is probably on the table for you.
All right, so what's the big deal? What makes a 403b so special? Let's get into its biggest advantages, because this is where things get really, really interesting.
If you take away one thing, let it be this. The single biggest perk of a 403b is the sheer amount of money you can sock away for retirement. Seriously, for a lot of people, this feature is an absolute game changer.
Just take a look at the numbers here. In 2023, you could contribute up to $22,500. Now, when you put that next to a standard IRA, well, the IRA limit is way, way lower. That difference is absolutely massive when you think about growing your nest egg over a few decades.
Oh, and it gets even better. If you're over age 50, you can throw in an extra $7,500 in what they call catch-up contributions. That brings your potential total for the year to a whopping $30,000. That is a phenomenal tool, especially for anyone who feels like they got a bit of a late start on saving.
And believe it or not, those high limits are just the beginning. A lot of employers will also offer a match, which, let's be real, is just free money. The vesting schedules, which is how long you have to work before your employer's contributions are actually yours, are often shorter than in the corporate world. Plus, you get tax flexibility. You can choose to contribute pre-tax with a traditional 403b or post-tax with a Roth version.
Okay, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like any financial product, the 403b has some downsides, and it's so important that you understand the fine print before you jump in with both feet.
You've got to be aware of the potential traps. Sometimes your investment choices can be surprisingly limited, often pushing you toward products like annuities. Fees can also be a real killer, slowly eating away at your returns over time. And this is a big one. Some 403b plans aren't protected by a federal law called ERISA, which sets really important standards for 401ks. This quote really nails the whole fee problem. You see, your investment might earn, say, 8%, but after you subtract all the plan's management and administrative fees, your actual take-home return is going to be lower. And those little fees add up. A 1% difference might not sound like much, but over 30 years, that could literally cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in growth.
And then you've got RMDs. Once you hit age 73, the government basically says, okay, time to start taking some of that money out, whether you need it or not. Why? Because they want to collect taxes on it. This means you need to have a solid plan in place for how to manage those withdrawals and the tax bill that comes with them.
So here's a super common question. What happens when you leave your job? You've built up this nice little nest egg in your 403b, but now you're moving to a new hospital or a different school district. What do you do with the money?
The good news is you've got choices. You can often just move the money into your new job's plan to keep things simple. Another great option is to roll it over into an IRA, which can give you way more investment options and sometimes lower fees. Or, if the plan allows it, you might be able to just leave it right where it is.
Okay, so after all of that, what's the bottom line here? What should you really take away from all this talk about the 403b?
It really just boils down to this fundamental trade-off. On one side, you have incredible power, these huge contribution limits and the possibility of an employer match. But on the other side, there's a potential price to pay. You might be stuck with high fees and a pretty limited menu of investment options.
So, the final question you need to ask isn't just a general one. It's about your specific plan. Is your 403b a powerful wealth-building tool, or is it a costly convenience that's being held back by high fees and crummy investment choices? The only way you're going to know for sure is to pop the hood and take a really close look.